Welcome to Movie Recaps with Brian. Subscribe below for daily recaps. Today, we're recapping The Running Man, directed by Paul Michael Glaser. By 2017, the United States has descended into authoritarian rule following a worldwide economic collapse and critical shortages of food, fuel, and basic resources. The government maintains its grip on power through constant propaganda, censorship of unsanctioned art and music, and state-controlled television broadcasts. Captain Ben Richards, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, once a police officer, becomes a symbol of resistance without meaning to. During a food riot in Bakersfield, California, he refuses an order to open fire on unarmed civilians begging for supplies. His fellow officers slaughter the crowd, but Richards is framed as the instigator, branded the Butcher of Bakersfield. Arrested and disgraced, he's sent to a prison labor camp where he spends 18 brutal months enduring forced labor and surveillance. Seizing an opportunity during a violent prison uprising, Richards escapes with two resistance members, Harold Weiss, played by Marvin McIntyre, and William Laughlin, played by Yaphet Kotto. While they urge him to join their underground movement, Richards is skeptical of political causes. He only wants to stay alive and perhaps clear his name. The most popular and feared program is The Running Man, a brutal game show where convicted criminals are promised freedom if they can survive as runners against heavily armed and theatrically themed assassins called Stalkers. The show is presented as patriotic entertainment, but in truth, it is both a tool of distraction and intimidation, reinforcing state control while quenching the bloodlust of the population. His search takes him to his brother's apartment in Los Angeles, but his brother has been seized for re-education, and the apartment is now occupied by Amber Mendez, played by Maria Conchita Alonso, a musician and composer for the state-run network, ICS. Desperate, Richards forces Amber to help him forge documents to bypass airport security and escape the country. But Amber, believing state propaganda about the Butcher of Bakersfield, betrays him at the last minute by alerting security. Richards is swiftly recaptured, and Amber begins to realize she may have made a terrible mistake when she sees official broadcasts falsely attributing civilian deaths to Richards. Meanwhile, Damon Killian, played by Richard Dawson, the arrogant, ratings-obsessed host of The Running Man, sees Richards as the perfect contestant to revive the show's declining popularity. Slick, narcissistic, and utterly ruthless, Killian manipulates Richards into participation by threatening Weiss and Laughlin's lives. When the game begins, Killian betrays Richards anyway, sending all three men into the lethal game zone, a sprawling wasteland of abandoned Los Angeles carved into 4 hostile quadrants. The show begins with spectacle. Richards and his allies are fired into the zone via rocket sleds as audiences cheer from the safety of their homes. The first stalker unleashed is Sub-Zero, a hockey-themed killer armed with a bladed stick and explosives. In a shocking reversal of the show's tradition, Richards fights back and kills Sub-Zero, making him the first runner ever to defeat a stalker. The audience is stunned, and whispers of sympathy for Richards begin to ripple. At ICS headquarters, Amber's suspicion grows. She sneaks into restricted archives and uncovers unedited footage of Bakersfield, proving that Richards was framed and the massacre was committed by the government. Before she can act, she's caught and thrown into the game zone as punishment. As the game escalates, new stalkers are deployed: Buzzsaw, a sadistic biker wielding a chainsaw, and Dynamo, a flamboyant opera-singing assassin who electrocutes victims with a suit of weaponized lights. Richards engages both. He kills Buzzsaw in a brutal struggle but suffers the loss of Laughlin, who is mortally wounded. Dynamo is incapacitated, but Richards pointedly spares his life, shocking viewers who have only ever seen bloodthirsty executions on the show. Meanwhile, Weiss discovers a satellite uplink hidden within the game zone, the key to overriding government broadcasts. Before Dynamo kills him, Weiss passes the access code to Amber, making her the only person who can complete the mission. Amber, while searching for safety, uncovers a horrifying secret. the mummified corpses of previous winners of the Running Man, proving that nobody ever truly earned freedom. Fueled by anger, she continues to aid Richards. Together they kill Fireball, a flamethrower-wielding stalker, further electrifying the audience and causing unrest among viewers who now cheer Richards' defiance instead of the stalker's carnage. With the regime's credibility cracking, Killian resorts to dirty tactics. He tries to coerce Captain Freedom, played by Jesse Ventura, a retired stalker and former fan favorite, to face Richards. But Freedom, disgusted with Killian's manipulative methods, refuses to participate unless it's a fair fight. Instead, ICS fabricates digital footage showing Freedom killing Richards and Amber. This staged victory is broadcast nationwide, but the cracks in the illusion are becoming too obvious. Richards and Amber are rescued by the underground resistance, led by Mike, who recognizes the value of Weiss's uplink codes. Together, they launch a final assault on the ICS Broadcasting Center. As chaos erupts on the studio floor, Dynamo ambushes Amber, but she cleverly activates the sprinkler system, short-circuiting his electrical suit and killing him. Richard storms the control room, where he confronts Killian before a live audience. Killian, arrogant until the end, offers Richards a job as a stalker, claiming they could become legends together. Richards rejects him, instead forcing him into a rocket sled and launching him into the game zone. With no safety controls, the sled crashes and explodes, killing Killian spectacularly, an ironic reversal of his own twisted showmanship. As resistance forces broadcast the unedited Bakersfield footage and the truth about the government's lies across the airwaves, the population begins to rise up. The studio audience, once bloodthirsty spectators, cheer Richards as a hero. In the aftermath, Richards and Amber embrace amid the crumbling facade of state propaganda. The television signal goes dark, marking the symbolic collapse of the regime's strongest weapon, its control of the narrative. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe below to watch more movie recaps with Brian. Comment below which movie you'd like to see recapped next.